So the main thing I wanted to talk about was Ken Carson getting a Drake cosign. Okay, he posted it in his story. Now some people are saying that he posted Loan as well, like back in the day when If Looks Could Kill dropped. I'm pretty sure I remember that. I'm not too entirely sure, but you already knew Drake was messing with Opium, aka Cardi. He always wants to get Cardi collabs, but Cardi, I guess, just isn't sending them always. I think Ian Connor and Drake through text messages have even talked about that, how Cardi just like is slacking with that, for better or worse, you know, because I feel like a lot of people hate on Drake, especially with this Ken Carson. I was like, I want to see a Ken Carson collab. I don't really care about Drake and Ken being on a song sonically. I'm just saying, like, if we want to see our artists go up, and this is what I was talking about just like 30 seconds ago, where a lot of artists like to gatekeep their, or a lot of fans like to gatekeep their artists to be underground still and never go mainstream. And it's like, do you want to see your artists win? Because when they're making a bunch of money, that's when they have the freedom, and like they can work with the best producers, they can work with the best artists, and they can actually make better music, technically speaking, even though a lot of times when they go pop or mainstream, they do start to make less quality music just because they make money, and you know, there's less motivation to actually get in the studio and do everything they do. They're kind of just doing it for a business. That's where selling your soul comes in hand. But still, I would like to see it. Drake, a lot of people are saying Yeat carried Drake on that song, and I agree. However, on his project, what was it called? For All the Dogs, it was Yeat's song. We already talked about that. But like, even with that being said, even if Ken were to, like, even if that song dropped just by Yeat, it wouldn't be competing for number one, you know, because that Drake feature, or yeah, it's technically a Drake feature in my book because it's mostly a Yeat song, but Drake is like the promotional platform that gives these artists the look. So again, I don't care if Ken Carson literally is just on the entire song and then it's just like one Drake ad lib, but if Drake drops it, or if it's a Drake feature, it's gonna go up. So that's why I want to see a Ken Carson Drake collab, although hella people were hating on it, be like, no, he's gonna ruin my GOAT, blah blah blah. It's like, again, do you want your artist to win or not? That's all I have to say. But hella people were hating. See, like, look at this. Let's go through the replies on this. Please don't say something like this ever again. Somebody said they wants a Travis Ken Carson collab. That would be hard, I'm not gonna lie. They were saying, you want to ruin his career or something? Right here, you trying to ruin his career. I'm like, dude, I feel like Ken is at the level where he's got his own fan base and discography. Now, if it was a Block Boy JB situation, yeah, you don't want to get him on a Drake song, blow up before he actually has a fan base, and then like you'll go up and then you'll go down even faster because you never laid the groundwork, the foundation to your career. But I feel like Ken is at that level, although he still does need to get that Cardi collab. He's had a couple Uzi ones, at least unreleased. I think it's just one release song, Like This, I think it's called, with Loan. So Drake just like good music, and that's what I'm saying. Everybody hates on Drake, but it's like a kind of a similar situation to Trippie Redd. Like, they co-sign artists that they like, and then people just start hating, like, oh, you jumping on the bandwagon. I assure you that these artists know who these people are, especially because Ken is signed to Cardi and Drake is a big fan of Cardi. So obviously he's known about Ken probably since like 2020, like when Cardi was on Pain 1993. So is he jumping on the bandwagon? I don't know. Like, it's hard to really tell. I feel like Drake, you also, as a Drake person, like that level, you can't really give a cosign too early because you got to be pretty selective with your cosigns. You kind of got to know if they're going to go up or not. Maybe do it a little bit earlier for Ken before, you know, he's about to sell 45K or whatever on his project. But you can't just be cosigning everybody left and right, because then your cosign doesn't mean anything, you know? I don't actually think that this Drake cosign is really doing much for Ken at all, because nobody who's listening to Drake, or like most of his fans, do not really care about this type of music. But still, I'm just saying, it'd be cool to see Drake and Ken Carson, would it not? Who got more influence, Drake or Kanye? That's a good question. I'd say, honestly, I'd say Kanye. Even though I'm a bigger fan of Drake, I just feel like production wise, and production not necessarily just on beat making, but overall sound, Kanye has definitely experimented more and pushed the genre forward, whereas Drake, what he kind of did was really just turn everybody into singing rappers. You know, back in the day, he was like one of the first people that, or first artists that started formulating like R&B into his songs as well. That was kind of his thing. He's like the light-skinned dude who's singing on the songs. But Kanye to a whole nother level, like especially the auto-tune and on Yeezus, and just again production, even beat making too, and just mega hits. But Drake got mega hits too. I feel like Drake might not be as influential in the music scene, but like as an overall artist, like he's a bigger brand. Maybe not, actually, I don't know. But like Drake has bigger hits, I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. But like to the girls and like the normies, I'd say Drake is more influential, but Kanye as like an actual artist, Kanye is more influential. Get what I'm saying? Is that fair? I don't think that I'm like totally credible on that question, because it could go either way. That's like saying who's more influential, Uzi or Cardi. It's like, well, Cardi kind of got it right now, but overall Uzi was one of the faces of SoundCloud rap in 2016, so I low-key would say him overall, but Cardi's getting up there. I don't know. The normies know Kanye hits too. I understand that. I'm just saying, like, Drake just got so many radio hits all the time, like even to God's Plan or Way Too Sexy, like all of the catchy things that people play in the club. I'm not saying Kanye doesn't have those, because I'm saying he definitely does. We're kind of comparing like two mega goats, like the greatest artists of this generation, you know? And it's like there's an argument for both sides. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you you're wrong if you like Kanye more. Personally, as an artist, I like Drake more, but I still like Kanye as well. You know? How should Sofago get on Ken Carson's level? One move, bro. He just needs to move fucking. He already moved a couple pawns, right? He got on Travis Scott's label. I don't know. You got Hell Yeah with Ken Carson. Those are pawns. He needs to pull out the fucking horse or the bishop and just get the Travis Scott feature, and that's all you got to do to get up on Ken Carson's level. I don't know if he'll have the same like organic fan base as Ken Carson, where like literally everything he does, people are like, oh shit, what the fuck? Like he farted on his story. Like, what does this mean? A Great Chaos Deluxe? But if we're talking about hits, he's in a hit factory with Don Toliver and Travis Scott and Sheck West. So like they've got the push, especially with Travis Scott's connections, just Nike deals and blah blah blah, McDonald's, all sorts of things like that. Do I think Cardi didn't clear Offset's feature because he wants to focus on Ken's album to save the tour? I don't know about saving the tour, but my theory on that is that they were dropping the same day, and if he were to do a feature on Offset's album, then it would kind of take away the attention for Ken Carson's album to drop on the same day, right? Also, they're kind of competing for sales right now. I know Offset's taking it away now, even though Ken outstreamed on Spotify. I'm pretty sure Apple Music can beat him out. I mean, Offset beat him out, pause. But like, yeah, again, why would you compete with your own artist? Like, why would you help out someone else, especially knowing that rap and hip hop, like the music industry is super competitive, especially with the first week sales. Like, why would you do that? Also, maybe given that Offset's sales really aren't even, and just the promotion isn't as high as it once was, because maybe Offset's not, yeah, it's a fact, he's not as big of an artist now as he once was, then you kind of don't want to, and we know how Cardi is with his cosigns and features and everything. He's very methodical with it. And so why would you hop on Offset's album if you know like it's not going to do all too well, especially with there's so many features on there already? It doesn't have the same notoriety to it as hopping on The Weeknd or the Drake or, any of those type of artists. So that's my theory behind it. I mean, Cardi said he's dropping next, so I don't even know if there's really saving the tour. And also, people will buy tickets to Cardi's tour no matter what, even if he's not dropping an album prior, just because they want to see him. They want to be, I don't know, they want to be there finally to get a video of him because he's so rare. I do think it would be better if he dropped music before, but we all know he doesn't actually have to do that, especially because he can just preview new music while he's on tour and then maybe drop a single or whatever it is that he does. Like he's got the fans in a chokehold, so he can do whatever he wants. And Ken just dropped this Antagonist tour. He's going on with all of his artists, Homicide Gang, Destroy Lonely, Ken Carson. So I'm pretty sure he's kind of trying to make the tour there, like focused on them, where he's trying to put on his artists to more of a mainstream level to his fans who are going to this tour, so that, I don't know, they're more solidified, even though I think they're going to be chilling regardless. But that's why they take artists on tour and selling them out, because a lot of people become fans of artists live because, I don't know, maybe there's like a personality, or they're jumping around the crowd, maybe they just felt some sort of aura or energy. So that's why I think he might not even be dropping before the tour, or he doesn't even have enough songs in that low voice because it's relatively new and he was still experimenting with it on Travis Scott's album and whatever else he's on, and he just doesn't have that like 20 songs or so to put on an album to do that, because we all know how he works. Like, he scraps hella projects, whole lot of red V 1 through 15 or something. So that's what's going on in my opinion, but again, I have no idea. My guess is as good as yours. Homicide falling off, I don't know. I feel like they're not as mainstream as Ken or Lone, like their sound, although they're like they're much more trap than them, but I just don't know if they're as talented as Ken and Lone, especially when it comes to branding. Like, they're just not as swaggy, as lame as that sounds, you know? There's just not as much appeal to them, especially with rap groups just aren't as popular in general anymore. Like, that's why Migos are splitting up, or did already. Offset's dropping his solo tapes. There's more money that way too, because now you're not splitting royalties with another person. Because if you get 1 million streams, what is that, like $3,000, $4,000 depending on the platform, and now you gotta split that in half too. That's like this 1.5 to 2K now. You're splitting your money, bro. I would never. If Opium gave you a contract, of course I'd sign to Opium, bro, but that ain't happening. Honestly, I'm a grinder. If someone is like giving me guaranteed money, like here's another 10K per month to do something, I'll be like, shit, I'll do that. Easy. Even if it's for just some regular label, not even Opium. But the thing is, the other labels they probably have got bigger contracts, because Opium kind of sign whoever they want. Like, everyone's probably trying to sign to them, so they don't even need anybody looking out. Would you take a Cardi feature or a Drake feature? Shit, if I'm trying to make money, I'd get a Drake one. Are you kidding me? What? A Cardi one gives you credibility though, so it could go either way. But again, if you're just trying to make like a hit for, like a one-off, like a one-hit wonder, go for the Drake feature. Now, if you're trying to get the cosign so you can have like a good career just as a whole, but I'm not a rapper, so that's why I don't care, then I take the Cardi, you know?